this is, before anyone jumps in on this, the sourest I've maybe ever felt about X-Wing is this sentences here. Let me highlight it. Before, when the game had no scenario play, it was very difficult for new players to understand what they were trying to accomplish while looking at the game. That is such a condescending, insane sentence. Like, this is literally the hardest I'm probably ever going to be on AMG, but I do not understand how that sentence was allowed to proceed here. It was not hard to understand that the goal of the game was to shoot the other ships. That is not a concept that anyone on this planet has trouble with. To further go on, players were asked to engineer an obfuscated advantage. No, they weren't. They were asked to shoot the other ships. That was difficult to assess with fresh eyes. Again, shooting the other ships. No one here, of the 43 people here who all play X-Wing, have had trouble assessing with fresh eyes the want to shoot other ships. One where they had to force their opponents into traps or scenarios that were advantageous to themselves while avoiding their opponents' attempts to do the same. What that is saying is one where they had to use strategy in a strategy game. This is an insane 2 sentences. I absolutely do not understand how this document had to be reviewed. It had to. It had to be read over by multiple people. How did no one bring up this is super condescending and pretty much insulting to the intelligence of our players?
So
There was a good comment.
I would agree with you there.
Yeah, there was a good comment on Facebook that was saying that this is perfectly described the essence of the game, and it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's basically what they are saying, and I don't like it. That sentence itself is.
Yeah, and this is like this is like, I just want to be clear. This is separate from all the changes, all the updates, and everything. Just what this sentence says to me is they don't think people are smart enough to understand a strategy game, which is insane. If you are spending, listen, I get that you want a game to be simple. If you're spending $10 on Exploding Kittens because it's simple and fun, that makes a lot of sense. But to get into X-Wing, you need to spend, how much is like the barrier to entry? At least $100 to buy the 3 ships you need? Like a core set, 3
Core
ships.
set plus 1 ship.
Yeah, I mean, you're spending at least $100 to get into this game. It's not you're not doing it because it's simple. Like, you are into this. Like, this is the type of game you want to play. So it's baffling to me. And adding scenarios. I know Will's like a big fan. He wants scenarios, but like, how is that any different? How are you not also assessing how to force your opponents into traps or scenarios that are advantageous to you while avoiding your opponent's attempts to do the same? Are you just not caring about your opponent anymore? I thought dogfighting was still the primary thing. It doesn't make any sense, and to me, it's just, this is such a disrespectful statement that it really actually upsets me that they let this go through.